Hi students, this is Mrs. Laybourne and this is solving three equations with three unknowns. We will follow many of the concepts that we just studied in our last chapter. So now I have three equations. They have the same unknowns or same variables x, y, and z. Our first step will be to combine two of the equations in such a way that we eliminate one of the variables. I've decided to use equations 3 and 2, and you notice I've labeled them, so you will want to do the same thing as you do your work, so I know which equations you're working with. So if I take equation 3 and multiply it by -1, I will get what I have over here on the left. And I'm sorry, this is a 5. I took a document and scanned it and then changed the PDF to a Word, and so it changed some of my lettering and I just didn't catch that, so that S is to be a 5. Equation 2 I left as is. So now when I add the two equations, the x terms go to 0 and I have 5 plus 1y, and that's 6y, minus 2z is equal to 82. So now I've found one equation with just two variables. Since I've used equations 2 and 3, I now must use equation 1, and I can use it with either 2 or 3, and again eliminate the x variable. I've chosen to use equation 1 and 2. So first I took equation 1 and I multiplied it by -2, and again notice my notation, and here's the result. Equation 2 I just wrote down, and now when I add these two equations, again the x terms will go to 0 and I'll have -3y plus 8z is equal to 97. So in a bit I'm going to refer to these two equations. This equation is coming from part A, and this equation is coming from part B. Since those two equations have the same variables, y and z, I can solve those either using substitution or elimination. So first I'm going to write down the result of part A, which was 6y minus 2z is equal to 82. And my result from part B was -3y plus 8z is equal to -97. So you can solve those two equations either using substitution or elimination. So at this time press pause, and then when you have solved for y and z, come back and check your work. Okay, so as you know, I'm going to choose to use elimination. So my first equation became 6y minus 2z equals 82. I didn't change it. The second equation I multiplied by 2, so now I have -6y plus 16z equal to -194. When I add those two equations, the y terms go to 0. I have 14 oops, it changed to green. Okay, z equal to -112, and z is equal to -8. Now I can substitute -8 in for z in either equation, and once you do that, you will get y to be equal to 11. You would, of course, need to show your work. So now I can take my values for y and z and plug them into any of the equations. I'm going to choose equation 1 at the top, and that was x plus 2y see if I can get my pen back again. 2y minus 3z is equal to 50 when I substitute, oh goodness, when I substitute for y, the 11, and z, the negative 8, and if I simplify that equation, you should come down to the fact that x is equal to 4. Then we'll want to take our 3 solutions and plug them into all 3 equations and make sure that they make the equation true. And again, you're showing equation 1, 2, and 3. You do that either mentally or on your calculator. All 3 of them are going to check, and so we write our solution as an ordered triplet, which would be 4, 11, negative 8. Please follow this same format. Make sure you write your equations using equations 1, 2, and 3 as you're working. Show your steps, and now try to solve your own individual problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.